cross in. Now, mind you, there's some bad man marking in the box, but still, I mean, you give a player that much time to put a cross in.
So it was a bad first goal. Okay.
And I don't, and I mean, I'm even hesitant to say that it was against the run of play because it really wasn't. I mean, the Minnesota came out relatively flat in that game. I don't think you felt nervous, like you didn't necessarily expect. You weren't waiting for Houston to get a goal, but I mean, there was, Christian Ramirez had an early chance on goal. I think it was Houston with all the early chances, really, before that point.
Again, we looked like shit in the first half.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our buddy Ramirez
didn't take much longer.
Comes through in like the 44th minute, I believe.
Yep.
Comes through the goal in the 44th minute. And
Manone got his fingertips on, but it was a good shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's the way this game was going. It was just like...
And it was a good run. Let's give credit to Christian Ramirez.
Oh, without
it was a good run.
Yeah,
He got past, who was it, Opara, and just got in there real nicely.
What amazed me about the first half of this game, guys, was that we looked flat. We did.
Yeah.
And his comments after the half pretty much said the exact same thing. We don't look good.
Yeah,
there's no energy.
I mean,
it's just all this stuff.
I can basically paraphrase the comments you're referring to, Tony.
Yeah.
He basically said that, and this I'm paraphrasing Heath here, and when he says, "I haven't been this disappointed in the club in about 3 months. Just a lack of energy, and they're flat." So,
which to get into this game a little bit,
about right.
I mean, we don't want to spend too much time on this game, guys, but we came out with this huge victory against LAFC.
Right.
Big, we're all excited. It's like it's this great game.
Yep.
And to come into Houston and lay this pile of shit that we did.
Yeah, there's a couple things. Like I had just one thing that as soon as I heard those comments, like, oh, this is the most disappointed I've been in 3 months. I went back to a game we were at in Chicago.
Yeah,
against an opponent. Yes, it's on the road, but against an opponent you kind of expected to beat going into that one, and they were flat in that 2. I think that was a 2-0 defeat as well.
That was a cold game. It wasn't even hot.
Yeah,
right.
So it was about the opposite.
So the second half really didn't have anything crazy going on.
No, but what we did in the second half was we switched back to a 4-2-3-1.
We did, yeah.
And oh, good God, we
you
actually
immediately started seeing the reason.
Well, Chacon switched to the middle.
Yep.
He got into pretty much the 10, right?
Yep.
He was a 10. We had in the beginning of the half, was it Dunladi came in for Toy?
Yep. And
then
Lude
came in for Dotson.
Yeah.
And then in the 61st minute, we had Angelo come in
for Chacon.
For
Chacon.
Yeah. So they were all in, right? At the 60-minute mark, more or less.
And we did almost have a goal in the 88th minute that was called back from outside on Angelo.
Yeah.
That was Finley, your favorite player.
Yep.
So we lose this game 2-0, guys. And
I mean, and that's one we can talk about that one. I mean, it was clear. It was a VAR review. I mean, it was a goal. Yeah. It was the back of the net, but then they reviewed it and had. Wasn't Angelo Rodriguez offsides? Essentially, he didn't. Not that he was involved in that goal or touched the goal.
It was an interesting play.
He was blocking the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of commentary about this since the game, and so many people were upset with that call. And Dave, you and I immediately were in agreement with it.
It's textbook. I've seen that happen before.
Here's my. I'm not saying that I agree with it or not. I'm saying that it's a textbook play, yes, but I think the conversation is how many times does that get called back in games in MLS? I'd like to go, if I could go back and see all the times this happened, where ball's gone from here to here to here, and then they call offsides, but the ball is kind of moving a little bit. I think they just let that go through. There's 5% of the time they actually probably call it, and this is one of those times.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing, as I pointed out, I won't single the individual out, but I went on Twitter and responded to a prominent person in the soccer reporting community who was complaining about it, and I said, but I was just asking him. I'm like, but this is textbook offsides.
It is.
For obstruction. I'm like, why are we upset?
But I think
I never got a response.
Again, I think it's because some people see that play as happening all the time in MLS, and I wish I could go back and take a look at all the other plays that happen, and I'd probably see that 95% of the time they just let it go, and 5% they call it, and of course people get pissed off for that 5%.
Well, right.
It happens,
And it's one of those things where, pro referees have gotten shit on like crazy, which they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when it actually is right.
They get shit on again.
They get shit on again.
Doesn't matter. So, I guess the final points for this game was I thought we were at least going to get a point out of this game.
We should have, yeah.
Should have.
It's just a tough hole to get into. I mean,
But-
Houston didn't even have a shot on goal in the second half, and they,
But guess what? The Western Conference did us a favor because there wasn't much movement in the Western Conference once again.
Going into this one, like, Colorado. Colorado beat Seattle the previous Saturday, and then Colorado actually on that same Wednesday they beat the LA Galaxy.
Yep.
Maybe
Send
the
them a
only
fruit
one that
basket,
didn't
please.
go our way that day, that Wednesday of the Houston game, that Real Salt Lake actually ended up beating San Jose. So
Should we send them a sticker?
Which, right. Well, and the thing is that's the interesting thing with the Salt Lake San Jose game. It was one of those games where it's like, who do you pick to choose? Who do you pick to win?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, no, you just want to draw.
right, exactly,
you want,
as few points as possible.
Yeah,
is
and
the
so
old
I mean,
saying,
it was one of those things where I really dislike San Jose. Mm-hmm. So, okay, fine, but then of course, RSL winning leapfrogged us as well. So it's just, it's the way it goes. But we had the opportunity to come back and get them the next game.
So-
end of the day, they're in fourth place, and I mean, I'm just glad we're done with Colorado the way they're looking, beating Seattle.
right,
and-
yeah.
and
I mean,
LA Galaxy.
fantastic that Colorado's being the spoiler.
But
So we roll into this RSL game knowing that we
Two
need
flat tires.
but knowing that we need 3 points.
Yeah, and we've got two flat tires and
Yeah,
a
we're looking like
blowing cylinder.
Yeah.
And,
well, now
yeah.
and back it up though. You could choose to look at it the way I was looking at it. If we go back 2 weeks and we say, okay, we've got we're in the midst of a stretch of away games. They had been almost a month on the road with 4 matches on the road, and you go, okay, you got LAFC on the road, and then you got Houston on the road. You look at those 2 matches, you come away with 6 points, so the glass is half full. Hey, you got 3 points out of those 2 games.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
take that, wouldn't you, going into that?
Well, no,
we just got them in the wrong order.
Dave, you got it in the wrong order.
order.
But
Yeah.
after you win the game against LAFC, I think you're going, we should get at least 4, if not 6.
Well, right. I mean, if you're going to beat LAFC at home, or
Then you-
I should say on the road,
Yeah, then you better
then
beat Houston.
you better be beating Houston. Yeah.
So let's roll into RSL because now this game became a huge game.
Oh yeah, it was biggest game of the
It
season.
was going to be a huge game, but it just got elevated because of the loss to Houston.
Yeah.
So we're rolling RSL. DQ is back in the mix,
Yep.
which we'll talk about because
And they're back. So they're back home.
And they're
too.
back home.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mentioned,
Right.
they were on the road for a long time. So
we
it's
get
that much
DQ.
more
We're
important.
back to our original formation,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Which should just be the formation.
Yeah.
It should be, what formation are you playing today, Adrian? 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1, yes.
What formation are you not going to play today? 4-3-3.
Exactly right.
Yes.
So we
Should
get-
always be that.
So we get DQ back. We don't have. It was interesting about this. The 18 was that there was no Angelo
Angelo and Tommy Chacon.
and Chacon were not on the 18.
Right. And there's a story behind that.
Okay.
What's the story?
There's a stomach bug going around.
Oh, is that it?
that's-
Okay.
okay.
You know what? I heard
And that's
that.
why they weren't on the injury report, because they weren't injured.
Yeah, I heard that after the fact about the illness that was going on. In fact, credit to players like
Boxall.
Michael Boxall.
Boxall and Molino both were sick, and they
Kind
played.
of played through it. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together after the match when I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that does help explain, because you wonder why. Okay, you got Tommy Chacon, who you're trying to get minutes, DP, and Angelo Rodriguez.
Are you telling me that Houston poisoned us down there?
No, because somebody missed the Houston game because of
Okay.
the illness. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
So this game, yeah. So I said it. I mentioned earlier, but this game was, it was last Sunday, the 15th, just 2 days ago,
Yep.
September 15th, and then quick one for you. When was the last game at Allianz? Not counting the friendly
It'd been a
versus
while.
Pachuca.
Yeah, it'd been, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
4 weeks,
just
yeah.
about. It was pretty much 4 weeks. It was August 17th, so
Yeah.
it had been a while. It was home sweet home.
So we roll in this game knowing that we need some points. At least one, if not, we want 3, but 1 would be good too. And our boy DQ comes out, puts the team on his back.
Well, and he had to because Robin
I mean-
Lute certainly wasn't going to.
Well, and Robin again. Lude was in the lineup.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge.
We can get into it
that.
later, but I mean, I guess I'm not going to sit here and say that Lude has been
Okay, let's not go back and
outstanding
forth
for Minnesota
on
United
Lude.
this year,
Okay.
but he.
Let's talk.
I think the problem.
I will cut you.
I guess the problem, if you're looking for an attacking midfielder, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not the best at that. But there are qualities he's good at. He's good at distribution. His passing. He might be the best passer on the team.
I am fully willing to admit that Robin Lute could be good. Just like it took DQ about 11 games to get going.
Yeah.
Just like it took Angelo the whole second half of the season to get going.
That's right.
I mean, I get it, but the reality is you don't put a guy like that in as a starter when you need points. You just don't.
You're okay. Yeah, and I'm not going to sit and bang his drum because I know that's not popular opinion, and it's not necessarily my opinion. I just wanted to bring up a couple points about him and his play. But you're right. If you need points, maybe he might be a better player. That's kind of a late sub if you're trying to maintain a lead.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
And I mentioned it today on Twitter to somebody that maybe he is the better of three bads. So it would be playing him. It's a decision between him, Finlay, and Miguel. So maybe he, even in his state of not being up to speed yet, is still better than Finlay.
And I know you're not a huge fan of Finlay either. I mean, they're different players. But
they're very different players, and Finlay would have to play on the right,
but
he can't play on the left.
Okay, let's not get into Lude, Finley. We all know David doesn't like these people.
We had to bring it up a little.
Don't.
And maybe we'll talk about it later. But anyways,
we have a game to talk
before you jump on Darwin.
Dealer's choice.
I mean, can we talk about the fact that Robin Lute shit the bed like very early in the game?
Oh yes, yeah. Actually, that would.
I mean,
we got
we got some more Lude fans over there. I can tell. See, I'm not alone. Anyways, but you're absolutely right.
Before we talk about Darwin and what he did, Robin blew it.
Well, he had a couple shots on goal inside the box. You got to give him credit for that.
How he missed that goal. And
then
he broke ankles on a second opportunity and crossed the ball to absolutely no one.
We're getting off the subject here, boys.
Well, we're talking about the game, and
we're just trying to progress it.
We're not progressing.
No, in all seriousness,
it all happened before Darwin took over.
That was one of the first moments of excitement in the game. It was Lude. Where did it come from? He was involved. He took the ball away, takeaway, came down. Had space, ran up into the box, and just never really had a.
He just ran right at Raimondo.
How do you even call it a shot? I think they did. He got credited for a shot.
By the way,
but it was hardly a shot. It was more.
I've said on this podcast before. Raimondo looks like he shouldn't be playing a goalie in the MLS. He should be on a beach somewhere in Mexico.
Yeah, and he's definitely glad to be done playing us.
I'm sure
he's glad to be done playing Darwin Quintero. I mean, he had his moments, and then and then shortly after Lude's chance, Toy had another. There was 3 massive missed opportunities early on.
Yeah.
Lude was responsible for a couple, but Toy had one, and credit to Romaldo, sorry, that was a better save, but still, it was something that Toy probably would have wanted to do better with.
And in the end, Toy's shot was difficult. Mm-hmm. Robin was just done. Anyway, so we go to Rushnick scores the first RSO.
Right. Yes, you get into a hole. Yeah.
So we get in a hole.
But again, we're sitting talking about all these opportunities, and then Lude had another one that was kind of. It was a very good cross from Molino, and Molino was having a good game into Lude. And then Lude he just couldn't finish. He was leaning back. He never really was it. Maybe
it wasn't a good. It was a good opportunity, but not great.
Yeah, not great finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think I maybe bagged on him a little bit after it.
Which one is this one?
Oktoberfest.
I almost cried.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Thanks.
So I think we're. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about
Molino, maybe.
Molino, him being sick.
Yeah, he played fantastic.
He played fantastic.
Give him a stomach bug all the time.
And then my other comment was going to be, we were texting, like we do in most games, we're texting back and forth. You guys were texting more than I was because my
Yes.
internet went out at my house, so I had to watch
Yeah.
it on my phone. Every time
Yeah.
I text on my phone, I got to switch out of my thing to
Right,
text
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
back. So
yeah.